Hi everyone, I'm Val Moore. Welcome back to my kitchen. So far from the Elven section, all the dishes have been vegetarian. Today's dish is actually going to be the first one that isn't, and it utilizes some of the fruits of the sea. This is Moonshae seafood rice. Let's get started. So for this I'm going to chop some onion and mince some chive for garnish. So I'm going to start this by bringing some seafood stock up to a simmer. Now that that's simmering, I'm going to take about a half a cup of the stock and pour it into a container with some of the saffron. Now I'm going to add some onion to the olive oil, a little bit of salt, and I'm going to soften the onions up. Now that those have softened up, I'm going to add in arborio rice. And stir it in and let it start to cook around the edges. Now I'm going to pour in the wine. I'm just going to let that get absorbed by the rice. And it's important when you're making risotto that the liquids get absorbed before the next step. So now that the wine has been absorbed, I'm going to add in some of my seafood stock. And I'm going to do that a few times. I'm going to let the stock get completely absorbed, and then I'm going to add more in. The Moonshae Isles are a collection of islands off the west coast of Faerun. While this is where the recipe gets its name, it is said to have originated in the mysterious Isle of Evermeet. This island was created millennia ago, when an elven ritual was performed that attempted to bring a piece of Arvindor, which is the name of the plane where the elven pantheon resides, to Toril. The ritual did succeed in bringing this island to the prime material realm. However, it also succeeded in killing countless of people and tearing apart the land, an event that would eventually be known as the First Sundering. This island remains mysterious because only the elves are allowed to visit. It is protected by a magic that doesn't even allow it to be seen by non-elves. And the way to the island is guarded by sea monsters, magical storms, and mazes of reefs and sandbanks that could sink any unprepared ships. Because this is a land steeped in such reverence by the elves, it is a place where many travel for their final resting place. Now that I've added in about 3 cups of stock, I am going to put in scallops and shrimp. I'm just going to stir those in and allow them to start cooking. Now that that is cooked up a bit, I'm going to add in the stock that I infused with saffron. I'm going to stir that in and just let it finish cooking until the seafood is done and the rice is al dente. Now that the seafood is cooked and the rice is al dente, I'm going to add in some butter. Just going to melt that up and then serve it and garnish it with some chives. So this was a delicious seafood risotto. The rice was cooked perfectly with a nice creamy texture, and the shrimp and scallops were just wonderful. So there's only really one small change that I might make the next time I make this. The recipe itself calls for the seafood to be cut, but into really large chunks. I think what I would prefer to do is just cut them into smaller pieces so that they fill out the risotto nicely, and then for presentation, maybe sear some scallops and shrimp and put it on top. Because seared scallops is really the best way to eat them. So I'm a little disappointed that they weren't in this dish, but again, you're really only going to do that if you're going to sear it and then put it on top as a presentation. But I mean, otherwise, I wouldn't change anything in the actual recipe. It was delicious. I hope you enjoy. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at chef_Valmore. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and come on back next week for another recipe.